Hey there, some of you have been wondering about the question that was Mr. Robot calling Mr. Super Robot and so on. So how come it's not JUL? Well, let's run it and step by step debugging it to see what's going on. Okay, so here we are first debugging this script. We're about to call the function Mr. Robot. All right, so let's jump in. And the first thing that happens here is that a local variable foo is being assigned a string J, capital J or uppercase J. After that, so now we can see that foo is J. You can see it over here as well. And then we're calling Mr. Super Robot. So that's another function that we're calling, and that function is declared up here. And when we're calling it, because it expects two values, it has two parameters, one called foo and another one called func. So for the first parameter, we pass in the string J. And for the second parameter, when we call Mr. Super Robot here, we pass in this function here. We're not calling it. We're passing the value inside of this function. We're passing the function as a value. All right. So continuing now. And now from Mr. Robot, we are now in Mr. Super Robot. So we're still waiting here for this one to end or resolve. And in Mr. Super Robot, here we are assigning a new value, a new local variable bar. And it will be whatever foo is. And we passed in J here, right? Or we passed in the variable foo, but the variable foo contained J. So J is the value that was passed to this foo. So here it will say the string uppercase J together with the uppercase L. We're going to see that bar is now JL. After that, we run the function func. What function is that? Well, we can't find it here, here, or here, but we have a parameter named func. So we passed Mr. Input Robot as the function to end up in this variable name or parameter name. So when we call func, we're actually calling Mr. Input Robot here, okay? Because that's the function that we passed on to Mr. Super Robot. And when we call Mr. Input Robot, which has one parameter, the argument that we pass is the string JL that is currently inside of bar. Okay, so let's call it and see what happens. So we enter Mr. Input Robot. And here we are assigning another new local variable called bass. As you can see, bar is not available because we're not in here. If we back up to Mr. Super Robot, we can see that bar is JL, foo is J, right? But going back to the call stack, this is where we actually are inside Mr. Input Robot, and we're assigning something to Baz, and that is JL plus U, so JLU. And that is what will be logged to the console because that's what we pass to the function log inside the object console. And here we go, JLU.